Zoom zoom.
We are back for part 2 of the exhaust and inlet manifold. You will remember in part 1 we polished it. We evened this off a bit, right? Right way up, like that. It's better than it was. Let's see that. Meantime, our ultra copper Permatex came in for putting on both sides of the gasket and then offering up the gasket. You know, we spent quite a bit of time on these manifold studs, right, and we come up with a few alternatives. I don't know if any of them are great. I did do what they were talking about and put the straight edge on this. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and angle you around so you're actually pointing at the light. I do apologise for pointing you at the light, but it's important to see the gap. When I did put the straight edge on it, I'll try and get this for you guys to see. If you see the light underneath the straight edge, you'll see that we didn't flatten it enough. I can see gaps under there, particularly between the ends and the middle. But I'm going to say it's good enough because I don't think they were all that perfect back in the day, to be truthful. And I'm putting goop on it, right? So we're going to put, you know, the Permatex on this, get all this old stuff off. Put the Permatex both sides of the gasket, a good thick coating, and then we're going to put in our studs, steady studs. Right, the studs are going to be in there already. And then we're going to bolt it up, right? So now the studs are a different ball of wax, right? So studs. I bought 3 things. Oh, this was the other thing I got. 577 Loctite. When you put the studs into the block, because it's through into the water jacket, I'm going to put a generous dose of this in, and it should lock the threads and lock the studs in place. No water leaks, no leaky water is the theory, right? So I just went to the hardware store, already dropped in it, and I got a variety of 5/16 and quarter. There's a 5/16 bolt, which to me looks to be too big. It's obviously the wrong thread, right? I'm just looking for material I can rethread if I need to rethread. I bought a couple of nuts for each one. I mean, $1 for, you know, $1.20, something like that. These things. The 5/16 is definitely too big. Everything says those are 5/16 studs in the book. The AI thing, to be truthful, it was AI. Right, anyway, I got a 5/16 all threaded rod. I figured 3 feet of it I could mess up as many times as I want and still have some material left over. It's definitely too big, just like these butts and bolts. I got a 5/16 and a quarter, right? The quarter seems to be much closer to me. I also got round bar cold rolled steel. This each one was like $7, and I know it's probably too much money, but this is quarter, and even that seems a little bit too big, but only marginally too big. I bet if I threaded that, it would be fine. So I could put a metric or a BS, not a BSF, an AF thread on this, because that's the tap and die set I've got. And then I got this was a spark of intuition. They didn't have brass rod, or I would actually bought a brass one, put an American thread on it, and then just try to wheedle it in, you know. But they had an aluminium 1/4" round bar, right? And that 1/4" seems to me to be much closer to the diameter I want. I still have this, so I could thread that, and then hopefully the aluminium it's, you know, less strong than the steel block into which it is screwing into the steel block, the cast iron block. So as I screw it into the cast iron block, if I get the thread close enough, you know, if it's a fine thread, even if it's an AAF fine thread and it's the right pitch, then it might rethread it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, we don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys might. So let's look. We need 5 of these suckers, right? We need 5 of them. How many have we got? 1, 2, what the hell that is? Maybe. Oh. Thread. I thought that stupid thread went on the wrong threaded one, that one. You know. Anyway. That's 3, 4, 5. Are they all of a suitable length? We know the threads are terrible on the nut ends, right? Let's get that wee straight edge we were just looking at. Where did that go to? So this is what we've got. Can you see? Right over there. So that's them all lined up, right? They're all different lengths. I'll do it in inches because that's I don't work very easily in metric anyway. And we are talking about 2.5 inches. The longest one is 2 3/4. So is the 2 3/4 the ideal? Oops, I do this. Let's take that off there. You know, I can't leave anything down without losing it these days, so. So, what we're looking at. 2.5 inches on that short one. What's the next one? It's 4/8, 5/8, 2 5/8 on the long one. Let's go try the long one in the block with a nut that fits it. We know that these fitted to a greater or lesser extent, right? I mean, the threads aren't even that good on the ones where the threads are good. You know I'm getting at? Oh yeah, well, actually not that good. This is the longest one, but you guys can't see jack in that camera. But you'll see one side of the thread doesn't look too bad, but then you see the other side is all chewed up. So even the good one isn't good. I can screw that through there, I'm sure I can. But Let's go try it in the block. I'll just work through them one by one, right? I mean, the key will be getting the threads that suit going into the block on it. We know we have a couple of odd ones here. And see, these are the 5 that come out of our block. We have this odd one here and come out somewhere else. It seems to be too short, although it's not any shorter than this one, for instance, right? And what about this one? Again, they've been broken off, right, but are they long enough to enable us to do something with them? And to my old idea of, could I just put a spot of weld on that, you know, cut it to the right length, and then weld it on the end and have thread on the outside. I mean, we don't need a lot of force on these things, right? 5 foot-pounds to torque them up. You know, the bottom line is there's absolutely 0 thread on that, right? So that ain't screwing. I mean, not screw in, but you can't. It's useless. It's completely useless. Ditto with that one. I mean, I don't even know I've got that in there. Okay, so let's take our our best example. This is our best example. I'm pretty sure with some judicious filing or our grinding wheel, we can chamfer this. Only gives us what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threads. So I'm going to switch you off and bring you over to the engine. We'll see if this screws in. So at least the thread going into the block is okay. Catch my drift? So the 2 that are in here already, I'm proposing we just leave them entirely alone. But I don't actually see any difference between the threads in or out on this. I don't know why we wouldn't just put the good threads on the outside then and screw in with the bad threads. Why not do that? We'll chamfer that edge and see if we can screw that in on the evil side with the thread locker. You know what I'm getting at. So what if it's only 6 threads in there? That's all we need, isn't it? Or is it? If we're going to put that thread locker in there, no, we need more because we're into the water jacket, right? We need proper sealant in there. That's not going to screw in there very easily, I can tell you that. Not very easily. It's got a wee scoosh of lubricant in each one of those. See if that'll help maybe a little bit. I wonder if that would affect the 577 stuff. What is wrong with this? Why that's always a pain in the butt. Hear that scooshing right into the block. That's not it. Every one of these is through the water jacket, I'm sure. So we'd need to gently screw that in and out, in and out, in and out. Until we get it in the requisite depth. It's actually screwing quite easily with the vice grips, just not by hand. How far do we put it in is the question. I think it actually tells me when I googled it the depth into which you screw that. That's about 1 inch, I think. Let me look it up, sorry. okie dokie, course and BSW, 18 threads per, okay, manifold nut side. You know, they're saying it's BSW course going out the block. It's not. Tap and die, BSW, I know. Cut the blank rods, okay. So for the edges I need to do that. Okay. Total length is what? Inch and can't even read it. Useless. It's gobbledygook. So much for AI. Oh man. We want to thread this in far enough so that it's not going to let water out, right? We don't really want to bottom out here. No, that's it, bottomed out. Okay, so without tightening that up too much, let's put the gasket in the manifold on. This is just to play with how long do these studs need to be, right? So we're going to just play with it a little bit. This stud's sticking out quite a bit more than that one. Yep, we should have taken that off. Okay, let's just check it. See how far that protrudes. Yes, okay, exhaust. We'll get to you momentarily. Right, sticks out quite a bit, right, so that's good. Let's make a wee mark there. That's that depth, that's that depth. Okay, and I'll make a mark once I take this back off again. Let's just make a mark on there as well. Thank you. Just stay there. Jeepers. Put that down as well. For the time being. Right, come on. Put this back over here and I'll put that in the car. And I'll put a wee dot of paint on here and we'll take it back off again. Get me? Catch me drift, laddie. So I'm going to clean off that gasket properly. And let's take our little trial stud out of there. There's plenty of thread on there. In fact, there's not enough thread. Like, you'd need a couple of washers in there. That's interesting because the gasket pushes it out 1/4 of an inch. Very interesting. That really didn't go in very far. Look. And the red mark is outside of the gasket, right? So you've got a 1/4 inch of gasket. So we're only in about 4 or 5 threads. I don't think that's enough. And look at the red mark on the outside, the manifold side, right? I don't know if you can see it. The red mark, both red marks, right? So that's, take a 1/4 inch off on the left hand side, and it's only like 6 threads it went in. And you see the red mark on the right hand side, it's on the wrong side of where those threads end. So that's not going to tighten up. First thing we need to do is chamfer that end so we can actually get a nut on it. But let's try this in here again. See if we can get it to go a little bit further. Why wouldn't it go a little bit further? That's the question. You know, if it's into the water jacket, isn't it just unlimited the amount it would go in? So I would actually want it to go into the depth of that red mark, really. It's getting tight. But you can definitely screw it in more. Yeah, good. Okay. Get it round to where that red mark is. I hope. Let's see how far it went. I don't want to put it that far. I can't get it back out again because I haven't put the sealant or nothing on it. I can't get it even another half a ton. That's it, as tight as it possibly go. Yeah. It didn't go in that much further, guys. So we need a few more threads on that manifold stud on the manifold side, which obviously we can't do unless we have the right die. The bottom line is, if we can get it in that tight with some sealant, who the hell cares, we'll be able to tighten up against it, right? Okay, we'll take these measurements back with us and look at the others. So I'm going to keep this as our test gubbins, right? So this is the side, I'll keep it to the same orientation, right? So all the good threads to the block side, and this is the manifold side, right? So that's the convention. I'm going to carefully get a file. I think I'll just use a hand file. I could use the grinder. Just put a little chamfer on the edge of that so we can get a nut on it. Right, and it's not in enough, so we'd need a couple of washers. It's only going to go in that length. So let's compare it to the others now. So if that can go in that length there, if we can get some threads on that, we'll just put an AF thread on this one, it'll be fine. Right, so that one has to be threaded with an AF for this one. This one would be fine. That one is good. No work needed. This one, short. too few threads. So we need to rethread that AF. I mean, it's not too short, we couldn't use it. We could use it, we could get a few threads on that. We just need to add some threads. And what about this one? I think this one is fine as well. So we have 3 that's fine, 2 that we need to rethread AF, and then screw them in with some sealant. These 2, right. But we do need to chamfer the edges of these and make them better, more better. So let's try and do that very carefully. This one, for instance, is damaged, but seems to screw up okay, so I'm going to say that one's okay. Hold on, yeah, that's right. This one did too, I believe. I should have meticulously cleaned that. Any of those threads to be dirty. No, 0 dirt, 0 dirt. Might be forlorn hope. Right. Anyway. That's the block side, this is the manifold side. Those ends are good. I'm going to say all 3 of those are good. I'm not even going to chamfer the ends off them. These we need to rethread, right? We're going to put AF nuts on them. Or metric. Let's think about that for a minute. Metric or AF? These are metric. Metric, right? These are BS. That little brass one will screw on anything. Quarter-inch BS. So I already told you I'm not good with taps and dies. What I found is a metric M6, which that M6 bolt screws into very easily, easy-ish, right? And that bolt screws into that nut. So just because of that, just because of that, and I can't figure out, there's quarter-inch 20, there's quarter-inch 28. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll put that in there. Oh wait a minute, there's wee dimples in there, aren't there? Stop it moving around, I believe. You put the dimples. You put the dimples towards the doodly bots, I believe. As I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. So, right. And then hopefully we scoosh that with some of the lubrication. Right, wet chain lube. What do you guys know? They say use cutting oil. I don't know what that is. Anyone know what cutting oil is? Oh god, that's funny kind of stuff. and then we just screw it in there. Is that what we do? I don't know. I think you're supposed to like. How do you know? Then you put it in first. Doesn't matter. And you have to do it dead level, right? It's not even straight on the vise. I really don't know what I'm doing. Is there a starting bit? Yeah, I think the chamfered end is the bit you start with, right? Doug, my mate, says you turn it, you know, half a turn, turn it back quarter of a turn, something like that. Seems a bit wibbly wobbly. Oh God. What am I doing? It's cutting something. What the hell it's cutting? It's just, I think I need to do it in a proper vise, don't I? This ain't gonna hold it firmly enough, I don't think. I started cutting it there, but it's at an angle. It's at an angle. Oh no. I don't know what I'm doing. I should watch a video on how to do this, huh? You think? I've never been able to use these damn things. Well, let's just turn in the vise. Okay, so stop. Okay, now we're in the big boy vise. The big boy vise. I'm going to start again. That was cutting a thread of some sort. Some sort. Okay, let's try again. What end did we say it was again? The chamfered end has to go first, right? I can't remember. Okay, so what have we got here? I mean, it was cutting something. Does it really matter if it's that straight? As long as we've got a bolt on it, a nut on it, I should say. Okay, it's going on squinty. Back. Oil. On. Back. Oil. On. Back. Oil. On. Back. Oil. How far back you're supposed to take it? It's doing something. On. Back. Ow. Jump my fingers. Oil. I really don't know what I'm doing, chaps. I do apologise. Back. It's getting tougher now. We're down a bit. Let's just take it off and have a look at the damage we've done. We can take this as a trial run, right? You agree? Let's look. Those threads don't look that bad. Let's try it with the nut. So there's the M6 nut, right? I haven't chamfered the end of it or nothing. Good enough for me, guys. Who cares if it's straight? Let's call that job done on that one. Do the other one. Same MO. Put it in the vise so we're not bugging up any threads. And then just cinch it really tight. Oil. Jeez. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Sometimes it's better to just work in complete ignorance, right? Probably not. I should have googled it. You know, not googled it, YouTubed it. Because I could ruin one of these and I only have not that many of them. This is not as robust as the last one, I don't think. It seems as if it wobbles on the top there. Oh, I see, it's when it gets too hard, it's moving the bolt, the stud I should say. That's when it wobbles. Takes a bit of effort actually. Why is it wobbling so much? I don't know why it's wobbling. yeah, see what Doug was meaning. It's like half a turn, then a quarter a turn back again or something. You can see what I'm doing. I can only take it so far and it starts turning. Doesn't matter how much you cinch up that vice, it's turning the stud because its force is too much. So you got to just turn it, you know, half a turn or whatever, and then bring it back. I guess it loosens the swarf or cleans the swarf out or something. I don't exactly know what it does. So, I mean, go Google YouTuber guy actually knows what he's doing here instead of looking at this crap with me butchering these things. I'm just going to take that off now and see if it looks okay. It seems like a lot of threads, so hopefully there's some good ones on there that we can get another M6 nut onto. The metric way of doing things is so much easier because it just says M6. I mean, I'm sure it's got a thread count, thread pitch and all that. Oh, that's hot. Didn't expect that to be hot there somehow. Or maybe it just jabbed me. Look at the swarf. Again, it's squiff. It doesn't matter if it's squiffy, you know, off the true. Bring you back around. Test of the moment. Look at the amount of material that took off there, and it was off centre. God, it's a mess. But this is going to screw in there. Yes, indeed. I'm saying that's going to get 5 studs, guys. I mean, I know it wasn't the right way of doing it. I know it wasn't the right way of doing it. Sue me. No, don't. Yeah. I mean that in a funny way. Don't sue me. Right, okay. Where did that come from? I don't know. Where did that come from? Also don't know. Let's put this away again carefully because it got all messed up the last time. So that 20 odd bucks that I spent on these rods might not have been a good investment, but you never know. And I'm saying, chaps, that we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 studs that we can now put our gasket with our Permatext and our studs with our 577 Loctite and our newly evened out, not exactly flattened, exhaust manifold. And all these other little bits will be a future project though. I'm signing off for now and I'll come back tomorrow and finish off. The hottest day of the year so far, just about 100 degrees. You can see the sweat, maybe. You can see the sweat on me already. I've been in the garage for about a minute and already I'm sweating. Right, we're gonna try each one of the 5 studs in the exhaust manifold area right now, and we'll pick which goes where according to their length, right? Because there's 2 at least that we know are very short. So we'll get into it right now. I'm going to try and keep the one that we mapped up as my reference, right? So we know it's a little bit too long for this hole, right? So we'll use one of the short ones in here. I'm just trying it for fit right now. That's my reference one, Try it in this hole now. Yep, it goes in so far. So it seems a bit long for that, so I'll again use one of my short ones here. Obviously I'm going to put them in properly with the proper sealant and everything. Threads are pretty poor on the beginning of this one, on the block side, right on the block side. Right in here. That's the threads on the thing itself. This is a reference one. This goes in easily, so we'll keep the one with the gammy thread for later. And another short one here, shortish. And then the threads aren't great. Doesn't square in very far. That would be a better one for a short one, wouldn't it? That's my reference one. I haven't tried the reference one in here yet. Let's try it. They all screw in just about the same distance, right? So you can use the short ones anywhere, I think. Doesn't screw in very far. And then a reference put in here for now. That just leaves us the bad one, and to go and chamfer the edge on with our little grinding wheel. That's not a great fit in there either, even though we know the threads on the reference one are good. This one is the one that's not so good. So I'll go and try and put a chamfer on this. Maybe I should just do it with a hand file, so I don't take too much material off. Let me try the grinding wheel. I'm going to try it with my little one first. It's just a bit softer, you know. I just really want to take the rough edges off. The first couple of threads are quite damaged. Let's see if that's enough. I'm really being careful here. So I guess we're trying it in this hole, it's the final one. Again, I'm trying to be very, very careful. Don't want any threads to get damaged here. See. Listen, these have the thread, there's one little bar on it. I'm going to take a little bit more material off. Try again. My light just ran out of charge, that's why. Suddenly got dark. Try and get another light. So, headlamp not ideal, but it's something. Which one was it? This one. It's screwing in. I think it's good enough. Okay. I'm going to say that's close enough. Let's have a look at the threads as we're screwing them in. You know, I love those vice grips, but they're a pain in the ass for doing things like that. We don't need a lot of force on these things, I don't think, anyway. So I'm just going to use these wee cheap pliers, which will be a lot easier, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Right, so that's going to be the one for there. Right. What's the shortest one? This is the shortest one. All the rest of them seem to be okay. So that's fine. 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 I mean, I'm saying they're fine. Who knows? We're gonna. That one's in there already. And that was a reference one. We're going to get our goop to goop and we're going to seal these one by one into position with the Loctite 5/7. Okay, here's the stuff. It's got all kinds of warnings on it. You've got to be careful with this stuff. Also, the top was really difficult to take off. I don't know why they do things like this, but they do. So, don't get it on your skin, don't get it in your eyes, don't get it in your face. And if you can get it to actually come out the goddamn thing, then you want a coconut. So I guess I got to puncture that somehow. Ay caramba. Not the easiest thing in the world. Let me come back to you. I'm sorry. Thought I'd opened it already. Okay, I think I got it. You pull the nozzle up and it opens it. So let's try again. It looks like a big tube, this, by the way. It is not a big tube. So I don't think you can afford to be too flagrant with this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, first one going in with the Loctite 577 in it. Just going to cinch that a little bit. really want to put it in any more than that. It's already in more than this one. Next. When it's liquid like this, it's a good lubricant actually. It screws in much easier than when it's just PB plaster. So this is the absolute maximum we want to go in, right? So if it's less than that, it's fine. We think anyway. It's hot, that's why I'm huffing and puffing here. Few threads in this one. Oh, was this the one we were having trouble with? This one wasn't. This one just didn't go anywhere far. Let's see if we can get it up a bit. Don't fall off. Please. That does not want to tighten up very far, that one. That one does not want to tighten up much. I haven't put a lot more force on that one. Move it. That one does not want to go. That's way out there, isn't it, compared to the other ones? See it? Again, I want to be really careful with these things. I mean, it is in there tight, guys, tight. It sticks way out compared to the others. It's the one right underneath the carburetor. I don't know whether that makes any difference. This is the one where we just chamfered the end. Right in there, guys. I hope, anyway. Yeah, that's good. Just tighten that up with a big wiper. How else would you put these in other than a pair of vice grips and a pair of pliers? Is there a clever way of putting studs in? Don't know. How does that look? It's in about as much as the one that didn't go in much. Tighten that a wee bit. I mean, it's again pretty damn tight. We're now what, 10 minutes in, guys? I am soaked. 100 degrees outside with no air in the garage. Doesn't help matters. For sure. Okay. Okay, we're skipping this one and this one because they were in already, remember? This one, my reference one. Which was really the one in best condition, I believe. Threads wise, you know. Screws almost the entire depth just by hand. Just shows you what they should be like. I think just for shits and giggles, when I go over to Scotland, which is this week, I'll order a new set of exhaust manifold studs. Why wouldn't I? let's make this pretty tight, because remember it was long, this one, right? So it's going to be a different problem from the other ones, which may be too short. Okay, they're all in, right, to a greater or lesser extent, locked into position. What happened to the nuts off of these two? Oh God. Okay, let me switch you off and we'll go to the next step. Put the lid back on this, first of all, which just seems to be a push fit for some reason. And now we're going to cover this with goop. Gasket's still in pretty good nick. This is Permatex Ultra Copper Gasket Maker for exhausts. We had some of this before. Used it once and then it didn't keep. I don't know what the shelf life is on these things. It's not that long. So just reconcile yourself to the fact that, you know, you might get to use it once or twice depending on your use case, but not forever. Again, you'll find someone on YouTube who can do this more expertly than me. I do what I can do. I am no expert. Normally I'd use my fingers and squish this, but in this particular instance I'm not going to do that. I don't want it all over my hands. I fly tomorrow to Scotland, so it would be nice to be able to clean my hands properly before I go, if you catch my drift. I need to do this both sides, so I don't honestly know how I'm going to do that without making a huge freaking mess. Maybe I can put it on and then put the other bit on. So let's carefully put these nuts and bolts in order here. That's our odd little brass one. I can't find the actual nuts that come off. Those two studs that stayed in the block, I must have got them mixed up with others. I really do not want to drop any of these. You don't need to rush too much. This stuff doesn't harden very quickly. So and again, don't do as I do, learn from my mistakes, and there might be a better way of putting this gasket maker material on both sides of the gasket. And probably better to take your carburetor completely off and disconnect it all, you know, rather than what I've done, because it is definitely in the way. So I'm pretty sure we've got, you know, a good coating of that gasket material on there. On that side, right? It said in a little thing that I read, coat both sides of the gasket, so that's what I'm going to do. I could just coat the manifold now, right, which is probably what I would have done in the old days. But it's fine, I'll put it on the gasket here. I remember what happened to this tube of stuff the last time. The bottom burst. See, I don't know if you noticed that, but the pressure then just went bloop out to the bottom there. And I think the bottom burst and made a huge mess everywhere last time. So let's try and not do that again. It is difficult to know just how much material from here should you put on. Experience, I guess, would teach you, you know, what works, what fails. Quite a bit of force. It's very, very viscous. And I'm trying to keep the pressure on the bottom of the tube, bearing in mind what happened the last time I used this. I do remember that now. A wee bit at the end there. Inside, maybe. And now each little gap here. Each little kind of bridge bit, you see what I mean? I think I'm putting enough on that it'll squidge, you know, and seal around it itself. I'm hoping that. Should that be enough? Okay, now our levelled out exhaust manifold, right? I got this on before, remember? Without too much difficulty last time. So let's hope we can do the same again this time. Come on, my little baby. Get these nuts and bolts on without any incidents. Oh wow, not much threads on some of these guys. Too much thread on that reference one that we had, remember. I'm going to put some of that Loctite on this as well. No room for washers. As we tighten this up, I'm hoping we get some extra threads, you know. This one we need some washers on, or another nut, bigger nut. this end one. We're putting some washers on. I have 3 small washers. We'll look to see if that takes up the extra length here. No, still not enough. I have this little spring washer. Wow. That's not good, guys. Still can't tighten up. Need another washer. Another 2 washers. Should be enough. I hope. They're all very loose. Okay, so we'll get that Loctite back again and we'll put a squish in each of those nuts. Pull it, release the pressure. 1. 2. 3. 4, 5, 6. I don't know if this is going to tighten up this one at the back. A reference one which was too long, remember? I can't see because of the sweat in my eyes. Now I've got my 12mm and my 7/16. Let's see what we can tighten up here. Do the middle one first because I was always taught to do that with anything with a gasket on it. Ouch. Everything is so much more awkward in this heat. Oh my god. 5 foot-pounds. I'm just going to tighten it up a wee squidge here. You could maybe try the torque wrench on it, but for 5 foot-pounds, could we? This is a 12mm. And we know we need a M6, whatever that is, on some of these. Right. So I went and found out that the M6 is actually a 10mm wrench. So that's what we're using here. Just a little bit more than finger tight is what I'm doing right now. This is some of the metric units. So that's our 2 metrics there. Just a little bit more than finger tight. Up to 7/16. So this is what I've got. I've got 7/16. I've got (12mm) and I've got 10mm. Crap. Yeah, this looks long as well. I hope it turns up. I saw enough threads on this one. I hope so. It's actually turning the stud now, this, I guess it is. Too long. Damn. Let's see if it'll tighten up enough. Oops. Okay, last one. This is the one with all the washers in it because it didn't screw in very far. Oh, we've got enough on it. Okay, so they're all tightened up snug. I'm not going to torque them. It's way beyond finger tight, right? So we snugged them right up. Much tighter than they were. I'm saying that's a win. Add another paper gasket for this little guy. On it goes. To hell with the silicone one, because I wasn't confident about that doing its job. So here we have a different solution. Let's get this washer on. It's always awkward this because it doesn't quite just slide in and you can put the nuts on, you know what I mean? The nuts have to go on while it's still sticking out a wee bit, or else they don't fit. You can't get them going, you know. Just a little bit more awkwardness just to make life interesting, you know. You saw me when I was taking them off. I had to remove the carburetor and pull the carburetor out as I was unscrewing the nuts so they wouldn't come out all the way. Okay, this side's a bit easier. I seem to remember. Not much easier. And no, I don't remember what size of wrench this is. I'm trying a 12mm just for giggles. No, it does not. I'll come back to you guys. Looks as if it's right. You know, just the fatigue. I'll show you how much I've sweated in the hour I've been in here in a moment. But if you don't mind looking at a sweaty Scotsman, but oh, it's crazy how hot it is. You actually need a little short wrench for this. This size, which is quarter Whitworth, but a shorter length. Come on, catch on there. I think, yeah, we should leave it till tomorrow, huh? It says to leave the studs for 24 hours, that Loctite 577, so I won't put coolant in it for 24 hours. This gasket material, I think we should also leave for a wee while, so let's do that, and we'll just try and start it without any coolant tomorrow, and we'll find out if it cured our misfire problem. It should have improved it just because of the gasket material we put, you know what I mean? It's pretty tight. Also pretty tight. And I don't like making them so tight that it's going to break nuts and things. I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. Quite get into that one. Okay. Tight. Tighter. Oh, there's that door. Oh, that's the exhaust gasket. Oh, I won't put that in yet either. No exhaust connection yet. We'll do that just now before we forget. I'm just tightening up all these little fuel connections. Right, some nuts and bolts for that exhaust manifold. Just before it runs out of battery again. Look at the state of this. This is soaking wet. It was dry when we started, right? So, it's been about an hour. It's just crazy heat, 100 degrees outside. Okay, the GoPro's giving up, I'm giving up. It's just too hot to do anything else. We got the exhaust manifold on, we got the carburetor on the exhaust manifold, intake manifold. And we got the exhaust hooked up with 2 bolts. The other 2 are out of alignment. I didn't try and straight the exhaust pipe. It's just too hot to do anything else. I've had enough. That's the end of this segment. We'll start it tomorrow with a different segment.